Our last Foundations Pilates class for the semester. So we're going to be running through your beginner Pilates workout. So you'll have it so that you can work through it like over December into the beginning of January as a reminder to keep up with your practice. So we're just going to start centering yourself on your mat, knees bent, hands to the back of your thighs, sit upright. So you really use your best posture here, looking ahead at the horizon. Looking down, you curve the tail up, you're doing a pelvic tuck, and you rotate the pelvic girdle around the top of your legs, around your femurs. As you go down, the toes may lift off the mat. That's okay. Try to keep your heels grounded. And imprint your spine down slowly. Go down 1 inch, 1 vertebra at a time until you're in your best upper up curl, at which point you'll pull the right leg in, then the left. We're getting ready for hundreds. You can pull the elbows forward, come up into a deeper upper up curl, looking right down your midline at your navel, and release the arms, start pumping them here, going up and down with the arms, actively pumping through the air. You're reaching long with the fingertips across the room. Now, this is an easier position. You could also make it even easier by bringing your heels down towards your tailbone. But if you want a little bit more work for your low abdominals, you have 2 choices. You can stretch the legs forward until you feel these ab muscles here really engage, or you can take the legs up towards the ceiling and then also reach them forward from there. So the more load you have away from center, the harder you're going to end up working. So here, the upper abs hold you in the upper ab curl. The lower abs support your back against the weight of your legs. Let's just go for one more breath here. Full inhale and a long exhale. And then we can fold the knees in, lay your head down, and lower the legs, stretch them out along the mat. From here for roll up. You've been through the roll back using the TheraBand. You can still use the TheraBand here if you wish. But as you advance, you'll start taking the arms up to the ceiling, let the weight of the shoulders drop deep into the mat. And then you start to lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, coming up and curve the body off the ground, diving over your legs, pull your waist back as you stretch your head forward out towards your toes. Legs are together, try to zip them in. And then as you roll back, lengthen forward with your heels. Stretch the legs away from you. You curve your spine down. Your abdominal wall releases you 1 inch, 1 vertebra at a time. So you go down into the ground. The arms lift to the ceiling again. And we're coming up once more, actually a lot more times. So you're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Now it's easier to take your hands to your legs. You can even pull the elbows wide to help pull you up if you need that assist. And then once you're forward, the arms can go forward, lengthening out here, the waist still pulls back. Then again, on the way back, you may want to take your hands to your thighs, the lower arms, less load. And also just like having a closed kinetic chain by holding onto your legs, you feel a little bit more organized in your body. You've got more control through what's happening with the abdominal wall as it releases you down. We can lift the arms up and even take them back as long as your rib cage doesn't arch off the ground. Lifting again with the arms. Head lifts next. Exhale. Coming up. Lower arms are easier. Higher arms gives you more load, more work. And then you go over wherever you are. The head moves forward and the blades slide backwards. You feel your collarbones are wide. And then we're bringing it back again. Take your time, move slowly. If you are using the TheraBand, your hands will be down and you'll be pressing out with your feet into the band. Maybe pulling in with the arms a little bit, depending on how much tension is on the band. You want to use it to bring you to the floor with perfect control. Let's do that one more time. So coming up, lifting, you exhale before you pick up the rib cage, so that helps carry you through. And then you round over, you dive forward here, take a bow. If your hamstrings are tight, you'll be bending the knees. If you have pets, they may be on your mat with you. This is Julie. And then we're going back down. You can always pet your pet on the way down. And then release yourself out to the ground. Come all the way down smoothly to your mat. And then circle the arms around. And the next exercise in the series is single leg circle. My cats have trained me to pet them when they come up on the Pilates Cadillac. So here, I'm going to move over so I don't kick the wall. We're going to take the TheraBand, fold the right knee into the chest and pull the knee in tight. The left leg stretches away. And now place the band around the ball of the foot in the arch. You lift the leg up to the ceiling. Try to straighten it as much as you can. If your hamstrings are tight, again, the knee will be a little bit bent. Just take it to the place where you feel a good stretch in the back of your thigh. And we lift here. You could even take a moment to point and flex the foot, really rolling through the foot's articulation. As you pull the toes back, you'll get a stretch in the calf. As you point the toes up to the ceiling, you'll get some work in your calf muscle. From here, we start the circles. So it's a soft point through the balls of the foot, not too much to the toes. As you inhale, the leg crosses over center. You bring it down low. The elbows stay grounded. You sweep the leg out to the side in external rotation. Bring it up to the ceiling in parallel and reach again. The right side is heavy as the leg moves to the left. And then you circle it low. We're still exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. As you pull the right leg out to the right, the left side sinks into the ground like it's falling into quicksand. And let's do that again. Try to really stretch. You're going to get that feeling of length across the outer hip. And you keep pushing forward into the band, keep pulling back with the arms, so the arms are active as well. And one more circle here. You can always pay out the band or choke up on it if you feel like you want more or less support or more or less resistance. There's a fine line between what works and doesn't work here. And let's reverse. You rotate the leg externally, you take it out to your right, you push it forward, you go as low as you can without feeling your back at risk, drag the leg up and lift it up to the sky. So your circles are only going to be as big as you can manage to keep your spine grounded here on your mat. So if I was rocking my hips from side to side or moving through my rib cage, I would make the circle smaller. And as I got more control, more awareness and more control, more strength at the right time, then I could take the circles larger and larger and larger. We're going to come to the top here. And then let's take both ends of the band in your right hand. And you can take the left arm out to the side and then open the right leg sideways. It's an external rotation. And you'll go ahead here and rock the leg a little bit back and forth, getting a nice stretch across the front of the hip. If you're not petting a cat with your left hand, you can take your hand to your hip bone crest and then keep that hip bone grounded. So you'll feel a bigger stretch across the upper inner thigh on the right and across the front of your pelvis. Exhale to pick the leg up to the ceiling. Switch hands, so now the left hand holds the band. You extend the right arm out and look at that hand. Take the leg over to the side, and then you rotate the leg internally so you get more stretch across your glute and more stretch in the outer upper thigh. I'm looking at the screen to see you guys, but you can take your gaze really supposed to be out to the right hand so that you open more through your chest. And then from here, we lift the leg up to the ceiling and give it another little pull for the stretch in the back of the leg. Pull the knee into your chest. The band comes off the foot. You pull the knee in tight and you stretch the left leg away. And then go ahead and slide the right leg next to the left one. Shake them out. And you should feel as if that right hip and leg have dropped about 1/4 of an inch into the ground. And you're also elongated another 1/4 of an inch or more with that heel further down the mat than the left side. You might also feel that the foot is a little more relaxed. All right, so now we're going to get ready to do the other leg. So you can pull your left knee into your body. Take the band wide around the ball of the foot in the arch. Lift the leg up to the ceiling, reach into the band, and you pull back with your elbows down by your waist and slide them forward to move the shoulders away from your ears. We lift the leg with a bent knee or a straight leg where you want to take it, letting the weight of the leg fall deep into the socket. And then we might do a little point and flex, rolling through the foot, working through the calf muscle. And then we end up with a point there. The foot along the ground is flexed. And we anchor the elbows. Let's circle. The left side is down as you take the leg over to the right. Circle it low. Swing it out to the side. Hold the right side grounded. Don't let yourself move off your mat. The torso stays steady while the leg moves and the forearms move parallel to the movement of your leg and the band. And we reach again. And you keep pushing forward no matter where you are in the circle. You're trying to let that leg stretch as if the foot wants to escape the band. Remember, your breathing is a short inhale and a long exhale so that you really engage the deepest level of your abdominal muscles. The transverse abdominis goes across the low belly and it's pulling tight all the way down as you exhale, exhale, exhale to the top. Now reverse. The leg moves out to the left and exhale and bring it around and down. Right. The awareness of what you're moving and what you stabilize and the ability to do that with added load and then later with added speed really shows you've got more control and understanding of your body and movement. So we're going to reach the leg out again, stretch to the inner thighs, pull it low, skim across the other leg. Now stretch the outer hip. And let's just do one last one here. You keep reaching out with the foot. You keep pulling back with the upper arms to keep your upper body stable. And now we take both ends of the band in your left hand. Right hand could be on the right hip. And we're going to open the leg out to the side. So having your hand on the hip makes you more aware that you don't want to be rocking the pelvic girdle. Like you want to think still the right hip is grounded. Or you could alternatively take the hand out to the side, turn your head and look over the fingertips here. That gives you a little bit more weight in the opposite direction from your leg, which helps keep you stable. And here you rock the leg slightly towards your shoulder and away. And then we'll exhale to pick the leg up, lift it, switch hands on the band, cross the leg over. Now here you lift your hip, waist, and ribs, but you keep the shoulder blade down. You reach out long through your left arm. So the arm and the leg are pulling in opposite directions. We still rotate that left leg internally to increase the stretch into the glute and the low back. And then exhale, come down from your right shoulder to your waist to your left glute. That lifts the leg up to the ceiling. Give it another little tight pull, a little stretch in the back of your leg. And then you fold the knee into your body again. The band comes off. And you pull the leg in tight. So after all that lengthening, you want a little compression. It's good for the joints to experience both. And I'm moving back over to center on my mat. You might need to do the same. And we're going to rock forward and up. So holding the left leg in, you can pull the right leg in and then lift it up. Easier to hold onto the back of your thighs as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders, upward curl. You push the legs forward, you roll up with control, and we're ready for rolling like a ball. So sitting near the front third of your mat, you can take your hands, initially they go to the back of the thigh. It's easier because you can kick the leg forward if you need it. Eventually, hands to the shins. Now we lift the tail and we roll back to balance on our sacrum. The waist sinks back. You're trying to curve your back as much as possible. Look down into your belly, knees apart, edges of the feet together. And as I push back with my hands and up with my legs, I firm up the connection in my body, in my core. We lift the tail to roll, just to the shoulder blades, not on the head, and exhale to switch direction. So you'll start your exhale as soon as the tip of the blades touches the ground, exhaling now, and that will carry you up and forward. Your goal here is to keep your spine round, to breathe fully, and not to let your either end of your body, the feet or the head, touch the ground while you're rolling. So we roll back, tail in the air, exhale, come forward. Think of diving your head and your ears down between your knees. So a couple more. Notice that the movement starts with the low spine. I'm not leaning my head back because if I do that, then I'm more at risk of hitting my head, which is not a good idea. But also if I did that, I'd be more likely, see how my back flattens? You want to keep it round so that you can roll, so that you are the ball, so that you can move like one. All right, and now we move into your ab series. So we're just going to do the first two. We begin by pulling the right leg in, right hand is at the ankle, left hand is on the shin below the right knee. And then you push the legs away as you bring your body down with control to your upper up curl, elbows wide. Look right along your midline, out past the inside of that left foot. And we inhale and switch the legs. One leg pulls in tight and the other stretches long. And we switch. Now, if your knees have issues, you can always take your hand to your thigh and have a more open angle at the knee. And then we switch again. Also, if you feel this is too much work for your back, you can take the one leg up higher and still get a lot of work here in your core. And of course, if your neck is bothering you, you have the option of taking the head down, which is great. It releases the neck, but you have to be careful not to take the legs too low in that case, because now your back is more vulnerable since the waistline isn't pressing into the ground. Pull both legs in. I'm going to come up to the upper ab curl. That is your choice, whether you're doing it or not. You lift here. Use your arms to your legs to pull yourself forward and deepen your waistline into the ground. Now from here, arms and legs lift to the ceiling. You circle the arms wide and around you, embrace the legs in, elbows wide and forward. Inhale to reach and exhale and embrace. Now, if you can prevent your spine from flattening, you can take the legs out further and the arms further back and then circle. However, if when you do that, you fall flat, like if you go back like this, that's wrong. You're probably in your back and you've not really completed the exercise correctly. So we're coming up again, upright curl, arms and legs lift. So the movement of the arms and legs away from center is a challenge for your core, and you don't want to fail that challenge, right? You want to meet it and figure out exactly where your body needs to be working today. Could be different with every single repetition. All right, lay your head down, and then let's just stretch the legs forward and stretch the arms back. Give your abs a little bit of a break here. Reach it long, and now we're coming up for spine stretch. So you can bring the arms forward, lift them to the ceiling, and then you're doing a roll up, coming up, lifting your head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, and then open the legs and sit upright. The arms go forward. And here we press down with the arms to lift the chest and widen the collarbones. Look down as you exhale. Your head dives forward. You round your body here, curving out over your legs, over the space between them, actually. Keep lifting the belly into the spinal curve. And then you press down with your heels, with your calves, with your thighs, if you can feel that connect to the ground, and you lift up. And then we look down again. So exhaling all the way over. So the head moves on the neck, then moves the neck, then the upper back, then the mid back, the low back. Try to really think of moving 1 inch of your back at a time and sequencing the movement of your spine so that you really open the spaces between the vertebra. You open the discs in the back, and then you're coming all the way up to balance the spine in its natural curves as you sit perched on your sits bones. If your hamstrings are tight, it would have been a good idea to sit elevated on a cushion, on a yoga block, on a regular book or two. Dive forward, now the belly sucks back. It's not just about the hip, it's not only about the hip flexion. We don't care how far we go forward. We're really thinking of curving and rounding and lifting. So we're stretching the area here by the sacrum. And now from this point, let's just slide the legs in. We'll practice the open leg balance. And rock back, balance on your sacrum. We'll take the right leg up, stretch it here. It's a good stretch for the back line of your leg. And then exhale, pull it back, hold your balance point, heels are off the ground. And then the left leg goes up. You stretch, you try to straighten the knee as much as your body will allow. Don't force it. And now the right, reaching here. Your gaze should be fixed down on your navel, so your spine is still in a bit of a C curve. And then the left goes up again. And then bring it down. Now, of course, if that was a little too difficult, you could hold closer in at your thighs and then just take the right leg up and exhale, draw it down, use the full breath to move, connect the heels together, and then release the left leg up. It stretches, and then you pull it back down. Then we do both legs, either with the hands here, closer to center, gives you a little bit more support, or you can take your hands to the inside of the ankles and then take both legs up, and the thumbs sort of rotate around to the top of the shin, and then they'll rotate in around to the back by the Achilles. And just one more like this, reaching up like so, and then bring it on down. And now from here, let's lay down on your back. We're going to do an exercise called corkscrew. So we'll fold the knees into your body, lift the feet up to the ceiling. Now this is similar to the single leg circles you did earlier in that we're trying to hold the hips heavy on the ground and not rock them from side to side. While you're here, you're going to take the weight of both legs a little over to the right, keep the left side heavy, and then exhale, circle the legs forward, over to the left. Now the right side is grounded, and then we pull the legs up to the ceiling. The size of the circle, again, it's dependent on your ability to keep your hips level on the mat. You'll feel the shift in the weight, and you'll definitely feel the work in your obliques, but you're not really rocking the hips. You're not rocking the pelvis. It's more that you're getting a transfer of weight around your sacrum and your SI joints. So you might start with a circle like the size of a baseball and then work it up to maybe the size of a volleyball. And eventually as this progresses, the circles get larger and you do start moving through the spine, but that would be in a very controlled way later in your practice. Last time, going from left to right. And then fold the knees in. We're rolling forward and up for saw. So we come up to sitting. Here's another place. If your hamstrings are tight, you want to elevate your hips, sit upright on top of some support book, yoga block, etc., cushion. And here the legs are apart, a little wider than your hips, feet are flexed. and the hand slightly in front of your collarbones. We'll rotate to the right, and then the back arm sweeps up and behind you. The left arm comes along the leg towards the ankle, towards the foot, and you spiral your body. You're looking up and back behind your right shoulder as if you could see your fingertips behind you. Try to open the right shoulder up to the ceiling and keep the left hip down. You come upright, center, and then let's spin to the left, diving over here, reaching out long. Stretch the arms away from each other. They're like the ropes in a tug of war contest. They're being pulled in two different directions, and you might even feel that stretch across your collarbones. Coming upright here, come vertical. Don't go past vertical and don't stay forward of it, but try to find your right on your sits bones at center. As you spiral and dive to your right, put a little extra weight, a little extra work into your left glute. So you have equal weight through your hips, through the pelvic girdle, as you spiral and twist the upper body. And we lift to come up, back to center, and then again, spinning to your left, diving over, you reach out. Your head reaches down as if your right ear was trying to listen to the left knee. The arm goes long, it pushes away from you. You push into the arm, see if you can find more rotation as if you're pulling your right chest to the wall to your left. And then coming upright, it should feel amazing. Now, if you didn't elevate your hips and your hamstrings are tight, you won't get this mobility and it'll feel terrible in your low back. And in fact, it could be a bad idea, because if you are tucked when you're doing this and not working from your hip sockets, come back, and then when we're to the other side, you'll feel too much tension into your low back, too much pressure, but you'll be frustrated because it feels like you're in chains. You won't be able to move. So don't worry about using the props. They're designed to help you improve your movement and then over time, improve your body as well. So we're coming on down, close the legs together, and let's lay onto your left side, facing the screen. And you can prop yourself up on your elbow. We're doing some side kicks. So the legs move forward, you reach out through the heels, and the feet are flexed and stacked, one on the other one. If you do that, and particularly if you pull that left elbow in a little bit towards your chest, you're going to feel a little bit of a lift through your waist. The right hand pushes into the ground in front of you. Pick up your top leg, the bottom leg pushes into the floor. And front back, we swing the leg forward, pulse 1, 2, maybe 3, point the foot, take the leg back. Now notice you're not moving the chest forward, you're taking the leg back and opening across the hip here. And you pulse 3 times, 1, 2, 3, using your glute to move the leg back. Flex the foot and it glides forward. You're trying to keep the foot the same height from the ground, no matter where it is in the movement. And then point and take it back and reach it behind you. There will be a tendency, particularly if you're tight in your hip flexor, to lean your chest forward. Don't do that, because then you will miss the stretch across your hip, and you also will miss the work of stabilizing your torso on its side. And one more, flexing forward, 3 beats, point, take it back, 3 beats more. Come back to center and we lower the leg. We're going to rotate it externally, point the foot and kick the leg up, flex the foot and pull it on down. So drag the leg through the air like you're moving through water, like there's weights on your ankles and you're trying to resist gravity on the way down and fight it on the way up. So really feel the texture of the air as you move and the texture of the movement as you do that. Now flex the foot to lift, and then you point the foot to go down. So we've changed the angle of the foot, 2 more, flex to lift it, and point to push it away. Now the head pulls away as you lower the leg. So you're trying to lengthen the whole torso. As you reach the leg long, you're still reaching the torso long. Développé, you bend the knee, you slide that foot along the bottom leg, you need a shoulder, lift the foot, flex the foot, and bring it down. And then we point, glide it in. You need a shoulder, lift, flex, and down it goes. One more like that, point and slide, lift, extend, flex, and down. Now we reverse, the leg stays straight, foot flexed, you kick it up, you point the foot, you bend the knee, tap the foot down to the thigh, and then slide it down the bottom leg, reach both legs long, pull the head away, and you lift, point, bend, exhale all the way down, full length, full reach, stretch the leg out of the socket, lift, point, bend, exhale all the way down. The last one we're doing here on the side today is rond de jambe, this big circle. So we're going to bring that leg forward, rotate it externally, lift it, hold your body steady, don't let it move. Rotate the leg internally a little bit as you bring it back, down, and then back in neutral across the other leg. So again, the size of your circle is going to be dependent on your ability to stabilize your body here. Both arms are working, even though it doesn't look like it, as you try to organize the center of your body against the movement and weight and the tightness of your leg and your hip. One more. The glutes start to kick in as the leg reaches back behind you. And then we pull that back to center. Now reverse. Sweep the leg back, rotate the leg, lift it, bring it forward, around, and down. And we'll do that again. Stretch it here. Open the leg, bring it high, circle it around. And let's do that again. That's where it gets hard, when the leg is still behind you and you're lifting it. Very good. Now from here, just turn it over onto your stomach. We'll do a one-legged grasshopper today. So you overlap the hands, forehead rest on the hands, press your pelvis, the hip bones into the ground, and the legs are in external rotation. You're going to pick up the right leg, straight knee, bend there, and then exhale and lower it down. And then you pick up the left leg and then lower it to the ground. The idea here is you're not lifting the pelvic half off the floor. You push the pelvic half down, the hip bone crest down as you lift the leg. And you'll really feel that work into your hamstring and your glute, and then lower it with control. You don't get to drop it. And then we lift the left leg and then bring that one down too. All right, sit back in your child's pose. Lift up, round your back. If your knees are okay, you sit back on your heels with your hips. Stretch the arms forward and pull the waist back. Lift the belly into the spinal curve. And then you stack your spine from the bottom to the top to sit upright. Slide the legs forward. And we do that same series on the other side. So you stretch yourself out. We're going to watch that you're not going to hit anything with your feet. We try to estimate that as we get into position on the mat. And you pull the right elbow in towards your right armpit. You pick up your top leg, flexing the foot. And we slide the leg forward. Reach and pulse 1, 2, 3. Point the foot, take the leg back, and open the hip 1, 2, and 3, using the glute to do that. As you go forward, you are still trying to reach back to the sits bone and the tail. So you're not rounding the low back like into a little C curve, like a shrimp in the pot, right? And then point and take the leg back. Stretch here, the bottom leg stays grounded. It presses into the floor to help you stabilize. And let's do one more, flexing forward. 3 pulses, 3 beats. Point, take it back. Hold the body still. Do not lean forward with your chest. Just feel the stretch all the way up into your upper abdominals. And then bring that back and lower the leg. Now we rotate the leg externally, knee and toes up, point and lift the foot high, flex and pull the heel to the heel. Point, lift the leg and flex, bring it down. One more, point to go up and flex to close down, reverse. Flexing up, point and reaching it down. Flex, it rises, point, you stretch it out. One more that way. The legs pull apart, then they squeeze together. Now développé, bend the knee. You slide the foot in, knee to shoulder, extend the leg up, flex, and reach it away. And again, pull it in. All this time, you're balanced right on your side seam. There'll be a tendency here to fall backwards with your top glute in order to take the leg more vertically up to the ceiling if your hips are tight. Don't worry about it. Go where your body needs to go. Now reverse. Up, point, bend, and skate the leg down. Slide it out, flex to lift it, point and bend, and exhale. Pull the head away from the movement of your leg, and one last one. High, point, and fold, and down it goes, rond de jambe. And you bring the leg forward, really push into your arms, sweep the leg back, hold your body stable here on your side, and then you bring it forward, around, lift it, circle the leg, get that spiral through the hip, bring the leg back through center, and we do one more like this. My whole core is working like crazy to prevent my body from tipping away from that leg. And we take it back, we rotate up, forward, around, and through. So if you're not working hard enough, make the circle a little bit bigger, but always check to see that you're right on your side seam and you're not cheating yourself out of that truth. All right, great. From here, we're coming up to sitting. We're ending today with seal. Another rolling exercise. So you'll sit at the front of your mat, take your hands through your legs. The knees are open like a frog position, and wrap your hands around your ankles. We curl the tail up and rock back, balance on your sacrum, look down at your belly. Open and close the feet by opening and closing the thighs, tapping 1, 2, and 3. Roll back, so look down. You're going to land on your shoulders, not on your neck. So you go back, clap 1, 2, 3, and then come forward and clap again. Rolling back, try to lift the tail to suspend your body in the air. It's hard. It takes a long time to get that feeling of lift and being able to clap while you do that and still keep your head off the ground. Of course, some people do it like their first time, which is just amazing. Everyone has their skill set that's a little different from everyone else. So when you take a class, don't worry about seeing someone who does one thing beautifully, because chances are good that you'll do something else beautifully and they'll be looking at you. In any case, we are now done for today. That was the foundational Pilates class, and I hope to see you all in some of our classes at Swarthmore or even here on Zoom. Have a really good holiday. Everyone take care of yourselves. Be careful.